Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I thought it'd be a good day to talk about Aerosmith because they are one of the essential dad bands out there. I've talked about Get Your Wings and Toys in the Attic before, but today I'm going to listen to Rocks for the very first time. And I've had a few people in my comments say that this is in like the top 3. There's this comment from Chris Meadows, who's an amazing subscriber and comments on almost all my music videos. He said it's his number 3. And then this guy just said it was awesome or something like that. And the Rolling Stone actually has this as Aerosmith's second best album, so I am very excited. I know that they just had some of the best albums ever, some of the best rock albums ever in the 70s. And also, I just got something in the mail yesterday, put it up today. It is a tapestry for Permanent Vacation. So when I'm sitting here and I look right like above, kind of on an angle, I can see it there. And I'll put a picture on the screen to show you guys. It's really awesome. I can't wait to listen to that album too. And don't get mad at me, I haven't listened to the album, but it's my favorite Aerosmith cover, so that's why I got it. But for Rocks, it came out in 1976. There are 9 tracks here. The album's only 35 minutes. It may be the shortest one out of the first 4. The songs are Back in the Saddle, Last Child, which are like the 2 big ones that are featured on Aerosmith's greatest hits, or at least this one here. Rats in the Cellar, Combination, Sick as a Dog, Nobody's Fault, Get the Lead Out, or the Lead Out. I think it's Get the Lead Out. Kind of reminds me of School of Rock. Lickin' a Promise, and Home Tonight. That is the final track. And honestly, the songs are pretty short here. Like the longest one is 4 minutes and 25 seconds, but a lot of them fall into like 3 minutes. Or sorry, longest song is 4 minutes and 40 seconds. That's Back in the Saddle. I haven't heard any of them. I think I may have heard Back in the Saddle or Last Child, just because there's some of Aerosmith's most popular songs. Even I know that. I think looking at it here, they are the 5th track on the Greatest Hits album is Last Child, and then number 6 is Back in the Saddle, so obviously they're very big songs. And because people have hyped up this album so much, I'm very excited. Aerosmith, just one of the greatest bands out there. I have Steven Tyler and Joe Perry Funko Pop above me that I've shown in other videos. They're awesome. Steven Tyler is one of the greatest frontmen of all time, and I'll be back in about 35 minutes. Well, you guys were not wrong. Rocks was so kick-ass. I loved this album so much. Aerosmith is just on this amazing streak. I know that not all their albums are fantastic, but so far, they've all been really, really great. I have a lot to say about this album. I was reading some stuff online while I was listening to part of it, and one website said, I think it was Ultimate Classic Rock or whatever, there goes my dog, said that they intended to make the hardest rocking album of all time, and I've got to say, this is one of them for sure. Every single song was really great. There were a few standouts that I will talk about, but I really, shut up dog, I really enjoyed this album. I think it is amazing. I'm definitely going to listen to it again tonight. God, Steven Tyler, you are a perfect frontman. Love Steven Tyler so much. There's so much to talk about with this album, as I said before, so let's jump into the track list. So it kicks off with Back in the Saddle here, and I have to say, this was my favorite track on the album. This is easily some of Aerosmith's best work. I mean, the whole album is, but especially this song. I'm just gonna say it now. I think that this song features the best use of raspy vocals I've ever heard. Steven Tyler just gets better and better and better and better. The more I listen to Aerosmith, the more I listen to stuff from him. It is honestly perfect. This is easily one of the best rock songs I've ever heard, especially from the 70s, especially from Aerosmith as well. This one was amazing. I can see why it's on the Greatest Hits album that sits behind me here. It was just amazing, and I didn't actually recognize it going in. I was like, damn, I'm surprised it didn't. And there's lots of repetition in it, but it always works. I just don't get how Steven Tyler does it, and of course the rest of the band is great too. I'll talk about their parts on other tracks as well. This song just, I don't know, there's something so special about it. And then it goes into Last Child here, and there's another big one here. It wasn't like my second favorite or anything like that, but I do think it's one of the best on the album. It's interesting. I want to kind of look more into this song because it was very good, although it was one of the shortest ones here. It's only 3 minutes and 26 seconds, but I can also see why this is one of the bigger ones. There are better songs than this one on the album, but then again, this album doesn't have a single bad song on it. And if I remember correctly, I think that this song, Last Child, fades into Rats in the Cellar. I'm pretty sure because I know a few of them did, and Rats in the Cellar was also really good. I think it was just as good as Last Child. I think that they performed this one live. Yeah, here's their music video. I'm gonna watch this after. I want to watch this You Gotta Move thing, whatever that is. But I thought it was a really great song. Again, it's another one that I want to kind of look into because of the lyrics and all that. And talking about the lyrics, we have Combination here, and they don't actually have any lyrics for the song. Like if I click on Combination, there's there's no lyrics. It just says written by Joe Perry, and I'm pretty sure, I think it was this one that Joe Perry kind of shared lead vocals with Steven Tyler on, which I think was really great. I knew that Joe Perry sang a little bit here, and I'll grab those Funko Pops I was talking about before. These are two of the best ever. I don't think I showed it in the last Aerosmith video. I don't think I had them, but like, just look at that. That's amazing. Then of course Joe Perry, and then of course, what was that accent? And then of course Joe Perry. I mean, it's cool to see these guys sing together. I mean, at least hear it, I guess. And just to go back to Back in the Saddle quickly, I just said back twice. Yes, I know. I found this cool fun fact. I'll put it on the screen here. It says Douglas placed a shotgun microphone 10 inches away from Steven Tyler's mouth to capture his notorious screams. The singer then started playing with the effects on the device and moved his head so he'd be singing under or above it at different points, resulting in a raspy and in-your-face delivery. That's what I was talking about. That's why I think it is one of their best tracks. I think that's an amazing detail. And then it goes into Sick as a Dog, which I think is easily, again, on like the top half. There are 9 tracks, so I think it's in like the top 4, top 5 on this album. But again, I'm gonna say it a million times, this album was amazing. There were no skips here. I'm definitely gonna listen to it many times, just like I've done with the other 2 Aerosmith albums I've talked about. And I have listened to their debut one a few times. I just need to make some posts about it. I haven't done that yet. But what really stood out to me about this song was the chorus. It's like, sick as a dog, what's your story? And I was just like, it's really awesome. Obviously, you know, it's Steven Tyler, so that was a million times better than what I just said. That was just an example of one of the lines that I really remembered. I really love this song. Obviously, I listened to a bit of it just to make sure I was singing the right thing there, if you can call that singing. And then it goes into Nobody's Fault, which was actually my second favorite song on the album. This song is really underrated. Like, I think it's some of their best work all around. I think that so far, from what I've heard at least, this is Joey Kramer's best work out of any Aerosmith song. Nobody's Fault. I just think that his drum fills are amazing, and I think that he said, I read something that I think he said this song features some of his best drumming, and I totally agree. Like, if there's one thing that really stood out to me about the song, it was his drumming. Like, again, because they are drum fills, they filled in like the gap that has, you know, the guitar and the vocals, but then there were like little parts where they let him shine, and I really enjoyed that. And then Get the Let Out, of course, as I said before, reminds me of School Rock. Obviously, Jack Black was talking about Led Zeppelin there, but here's the scene.
Don't tell me you guys have never gotten the let out. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, ring any bells?
Again, awesome song. Like, these last 3 songs I don't think are as good as the other ones that played before it, but I do think they're also really great songs, and they all stick in mind again for like the 3rd or 4th time. They're all really good songs here. These ones I just found a little bit better, and I feel like I'll listen to a bunch of these a little bit more, but I want to listen to this whole album all the way through. I like how some of them kind of fade into each other. I think Get the Letter and Lickin' a Promise kind of faded into each other, if I can remember correctly, and this one I was interested what it meant going into it, and yes, it's hard rock and it's fun and has some things in it, you know. And maybe I say that because these are some of the shortest songs on the album, especially like these 2, the last 2 are the 2 shortest songs on the album, so maybe that is why they didn't stick with me as much as the other ones, but they are really great, and I did love how it ended with Home Tonight. I think it was a very good ending. Overall, Rocks was a very good album. Honestly, a great album. I don't even know what I'm saying. This was a great album. I can see why people consider this one of their best. I would say I liked it more than the debut album, but not as much as Get Your Wings or Toys in the Attic, although it is very close, and I can honestly see it just getting better and better and better the more I listen to it. Next up is Draw the Line, which I'm very excited for, and honestly, this one has some of my favorite Aerosmith tracks. Like, I really love Back in the Saddle. Obviously, I know that may be a basic pick, and it's one of their biggest songs, but I can definitely see why. It has some of Steven Tyler's best vocals ever. But what do you think of this album? Where does this one rank amongst the other Aerosmith albums? Does it fall into your top 3 like it did for my viewer Chris Meadows and the Rolling Stone? And out of the 3 albums I've talked about, which one is your favorite? Get Your Wings, Toys in the Attic, or this one? And thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.